So we have learned what is an inbox. Okay, what is a notification? I think we did not discuss about notifications, right? Okay, so we'll cover that today. And the rest of all other options that we have in profile options, we did discuss actually. So the bell icon that you are seeing here is nothing but a notification actually, which will be notifying you. You don't need to take any action, but you'll be notified on the status of the job based on the role that you have actually. Okay, let's say you're running an integration every day. Okay, you're running an integration every day, and you wanted to understand the status of the integration. Okay, whether it got failed or it got completed successfully, you wanted to know. Okay, you can actually uh, keep a kind of security group called integration administrator for that notification, so that integration administrator will be getting a notification that integration has got completed or not. And similarly, the example that I've given yesterday, okay, whenever employee gets terminated, okay, HR wanted to have a notification to know the last working day and other stuff of the employee actually. So we'll be configuring a notification. Then HR will be receiving a notification in the notifications tab, so that HR will be able to see the content of the notification actually. So notification is nothing but which will notify you the status of the job actually, okay, whether it got completed or it got errored out or completed with warnings, any kind of status. You can see that in the notification tab. The difference between the inbox and notification: inbox is nothing but where you're responsible, you're notified on the status of the job. So based on the security that is granted to you, you're notified on the status of the job in Workday actually. So that's the main difference that you need to be having clear understanding on the notifications as well as inbox item. Okay. Any questions or anything unclear here between the notifications and EAB? Sorry, the inbox item in worker profile, what it does, how it does, and purpose of that one. Any questions or anything unclear here? Anyone have?
I have a question, Amit. If any notification is pending for long time and the task is pending from our end, so is there any kind of deadline for that we have to complete that task within that?
That depends upon the configuration actually. Okay. So how you have configured. So basically, as I said, right, if that is not getting completed within due time, that automatically triggers to manager, that person's manager, or routes to that person manager. Or in case if you have set a delegation rule, in your absence, if you're not taking an action, that will be delegated to other person. Okay. Or if you set that as a kind of optional step, even if you have not approved, if you have set as an optional, even if you're not approving, that will go for another step actually. Okay, and that's how that is based on the configuration that you make in the business process or in the notifications.
Amit, that notifications will be again common for all, like who all are having the access to that tenant?
Yeah, notification content will be the same actually. Okay, so we'll be configuring the subject and body of the notification will be same for everyone.
Okay, so suppose out of that, 10 people are able to see that notification. Out of 10, suppose one of the person is completing that task, then I'm sure that notification will get completed. But will that name of the person will be visible, that who has done that task?
Okay, so firstly, notification is nothing but which does not require any action. Okay, there is no action someone has to take for the notification. It just notifies you the status of the job. Okay, employee is terminated. So HR wanted to know the termination information of an employee. Okay, so HR will be getting a notification and they can actually see the content of that one. So if HR needs to know who is the employee who has initiated that one, that is something based on the access that they have. Okay, so if you're configuring, say hire an employee is there. Okay, hire an employee. If employee has got hired, the notification will be triggered to HR that this employee has got hired on so and so date. So if HR wanted to know who has initiated this one, okay, or who are all the, what is the kind of process flow for this one. Generally, no, it will be automated actually. In business process, once the business process configuration is done, everything will be automated. No manual triggers will be there. But if you wanted to know who has taken action on the previous step, who has approved this one, who has denied this one, if you wanted to know, you need to go to history of the business process, where you will be able to find all the actions someone has taken on that one. Okay, so there won't be any kind of manual triggers that will be happening in the business process. Okay, so everything will be automated. So sequentially, business process will be executed, and that will trigger the notifications to targeted recipients actually. Okay. So whatever you get in the inbox task, okay, that you're supposed to take an action, okay, that you're supposed to take an action is completely from business process actually. So business process cannot be manually initiated. So you can perform manual tasks, you can hire employee manually, that's different. But when employee is getting hired, okay, the hire process mostly in all the organizations go with hire business process, which will automate it, which will automate and reduce the manual performance or manual actions on the hiring task actually. Okay. So almost all the business process that we have in Workday are configured and automated. Okay, there is no manual intervention that will be there. Once any kind of action is initiated, the business process will be taking care of all the steps. Okay, so termination, exit formalities, or security removal, Workday account deactivation, all this kind of stuff will automatically happen. There is no manual intervention that will be needed for this. Okay. So that's the difference between notifications and inbox actually. Now coming to worker profile options. Whatever profile option that you're seeing, right? These are from the different modules actually. Okay. Job, personal, okay, and overview, contact. These are all from the core HR actually. Okay. All the employment information, employee personal information, employee job data, everything is managed in a core HR. Okay. So all the job information, personal overview, and all everything you should be getting from core HR module actually. Okay, so this is a default one. Core HR is a default module. If you cannot exclude the core HR and include all of the modules. Okay, you cannot do that. Core HR has to be mandatorily available in the any HR system. Not only Workday, you take any HR system, core HR has to be available in an environment actually. Without core HR, you cannot call that as a HR system. Okay, so from core HR, you should be seeing all the employee personal information, employee job information, employee any kind of job related transaction information and all you should be seeing in a core HR. Okay, so whatever you're seeing in employee profile, job, personal overview, you should be seeing from core HR actually. The contact information and all you should be seeing from a core HR. But whereas coming to compensation, okay, compensation, any customer who is using core HR as a kind of HRIS system, they'll definitely have compensation as their compensation module. Okay, they should definitely have a compensation module in their system, which actually stores employee compensation in Workday. Okay, because whenever you create a job in Workday, okay, the job has to be defined with the compensation range actually. Okay, so your core HR and compensation are linked. When you create a job, that should have a kind of compensation range. Okay, so basically your core HR and compensation modules are connected a little bit, so where you should be able to handle the job data with the compensation. Okay, so you should be getting more understanding in our compensation concept. But remember, core HR, without core HR, you cannot have HR module. Okay, and compensation is associated with the core HR module, and definitely you will be seeing all the customers who are using core HR there as their HR system will have a compensation module subscription. Okay, So you should be seeing all the compensation of an employee. If you go to the compensation tab, what is the current compensation, okay, of an employee? It is loading actually. So the compensation of an employee. What are the plans that employee is part of? Okay. You can see this is the compensation page of an employee. Okay. These are all the compensation plans that employee will be associated. You can see alliance plan, merit plan, bonus plan, stock plan. All these are the plans that employee will be associated with. Okay. So your compensation, your bonus pay, your any kind of salary or hourly plan amount that you are entitled for, you should be seeing completely in a compensation profile. Okay, all the compensation changes will you should be able to see in a compensation profile. And similarly, you have a pay change history. Okay, pay change history is nothing but which actually lets you know that when your compensation has got changed last time, and which transaction your promo your company has got changed or not, either it is as part of hire or as part of the performance reviews or as part of any kind of termination your company has got changed. All the information you should be able to see from the pay change history, and the reason of the change you should be finding actually request comp change, adjustment salary. Okay, request comp change, corrective adjustment. Okay, so all this kind of changes on the day-to-day basis based on the business request. The compensation will be changing, whether it can be on a compensation review process or any kind of new hires or promotion. Anything could happen, in order to have a salary increment for an employee. So you should be seeing all the changes, not only just increase but also decrease. Also, you should be able to see from the pay change history. Okay, that's about the compensation part actually. Okay, so compensation will actually show you what all the compensation components that are associated with Workday. And pay change history will talk about when your compensation has got changed. That information you should be able to see from pay change history. Okay, that's on the compensation profile. Okay, so mostly I can say 99.9% every customer will have, because without compensation having just core HR does not make sense actually. Okay, because core HR and compensation are linked through job. Okay, so if you're creating any job in Workday, so you need to define a compensation for that job. Okay, so your core HR and compensation are linked with the data. Okay, and then you can see benefit information. Okay, benefit is nothing but which employer offers to employee on the benefits. Okay, mostly you'll be seeing all the US folks will be using a benefits module extensively. Okay, outside of benefits, you'll be seeing less customers who are using the Workday benefits, because the benefit plans or anything that we typically create are mostly focused for US folks actually. Okay, so but it's not that only US employees can access benefits. Anyone can access, but only the thing is the real-time cases, the purpose of the benefits. Okay, so is mostly used in US, and that's the reason why there is a separate profile that you see. So you can see the plans, right? Mostly US folks will have a lot of benefit plans, health plan, medical plan, dental plan, visual plan, a lot of plans will be there. Okay, so you'll not see that many expensive plans in other countries actually. Okay. So I would request everyone to go on mute actually. Suraj, you can go on mute. Okay. Yeah. So what I was referring is benefits actually. So benefits module is mostly used for US customers. Okay, because every employee in the organization will be provided with benefits from the employer. Multiple benefit plans. Either it can be health plan, either it can be accidental plan, vision plan, dental plan, medical plan. A lot of plans will be there. So employee will be allocated with these plans. Okay. So, and their dependents also can be enrolled into these plans. So benefits is extensively used for US employees in Workday, because they are the ones who will be getting benefit plans enrolled on their first day of hiring, actually. So benefits is nothing but which will show you the plan name that employee has enrolled, and coverage begin date, end date, when the coverage ends, and any kind of coverage percentage for this employee will be configured in Workday, which actually lets you to manage benefits of an employee in a benefits profile, actually. Okay, you can see who are all the dependents that employee has, and election history, any kind of a savings plan that employee will be associated. All those things you should be seeing in a benefits tab of an employee. Okay, which holds all the profile information of benefits. Okay. So dependent information, dependent benefits data and all, everything you can access from benefits profile, actually. Okay. And similarly, you have a payroll, okay, pay profile, okay, which actually holds you what you're getting paid, what are the taxations, how you can access your paychecks, taxations and all. You should be seeing all those things in a payroll module, actually. Okay. So payroll is nothing but it shows you your deductions, your inclusions, your inputs, everything will be populated in a pay profile, worker pay profile, actually. Okay, here you can find all the tax documents, tax selections, pay group, okay, and your pay slips. Pay slips in there is nothing but a paycheck, actually. Okay, so you should be able to access everything in a Workday payroll if employee is associated with any of the payment plans, actually. Okay. That's on the pay. Okay, so whatever tabs that you're seeing here, right? Whatever tabs, results, pay slips, pay group, tax selections are there. These are standard ones. Okay, you also have an option to add your own tab here. Okay, so you also have an option if there is anything that is not in this list, and if you wanted to add that one to the Workday profile, you can do that one. Okay, you can do that, and through configuration option you can do that. Okay, so I can show you when we start hands-on activities. I can show you. Okay, so not only pay but any other model that you see here, any tab that you wanted to extend, you can actually do that. Okay, through configurations that we'll be looking in Workday Core HR. Okay, so and pay will be able to actually manage your pay data. So your results, deductions, any kind of paychecks that you wanted to access, any kind of tax deduction that you wanted to review, everything can be accessed in a pay profile of an employee in Workday. Okay, similarly, performance tab. Okay, performance tab is nothing but which will allow you to define your goals. Okay, what goals that you need to have for next 1 year. Okay, and based on that goal definition, your manager will be reviewing those goals, and they'll be able to identify. They'll be able to identify and do a kind of evaluation for an employee in Workday and give a rating. So all these things are happening in a performance module, actually. So when you have a performance module enabled for your tenant, you should be seeing this option, actually. You should be seeing this option. Likewise, all other options that you see, if you have any module subscribed for that particular category, you should be able to see these profile options in employee profile, actually. Okay, so and performance is nothing but which will allow you to see the performance reviews, any kind of performance data kind of things. You should be able to access from pay profile of an employee. Okay, that's on the worker profile options. Okay, which will allow you to configure as per you. You cannot remove the existing ones, but you can add anything new that you wanted to. Okay. Any questions anyone have so far, or anything unclear?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in the job tab we have gone. So just, in curiosity, I'm asking. So being a manager, if I do an external job posting or an internal job posting through IGP, can be able to see that also here? The job posting effective date or when it has posted?
No. That is a business process, right? That's a business process. That also a recruiting module, actually. Okay. So you'll not be able to see that in worker profile, actually. Okay. So job posting is nothing but it is not related to worker. No. So whatever related to worker, you should be able to see. When I say worker data, here employee personal information, you should be able to see. Employee compensation, you should be able to see. Employee payroll, you should be able to see. Employee performance related data, you should be able to see. Any information that is associated with employee, you should be able to see in worker profile actually. So the job posting that you are not doing, that is not related to worker, no. That is related to recruiting area. You're posting a job or you're creating a position for a new hiring actually. So that should be done as part of recruiting actually. You have certain tasks, job posting, post a job kind of task you have. So you'll do those job posting, and you can access them through business process actually. There should be a business process, and you can actually get into the business process and identify the tasks or know the status of the job.
And if I talk about bonus, yearly bonus, and whoever are there for more than 5 years for the gratuity period, so will that be under the compensation or it will be under the benefits?
Gratuity is a compensation. It's part of your compensation package. No, it's not something, some organizations might define that as a kind of a reward for an employee or a benefit of an employee. But that is not a plan actually. Okay. So you'll not be enrolling into plan. Benefit plan is nothing but which you will be enrolling into that plan, and then benefits will be offered for you. But gratuity is not a kind of plan. Okay. Benefit plan is nothing but a compensation component actually, like how salary plan will be created, stock plan will be created, bonus plan will be created. Similarly, your PF gratuity will be created in other compensation plan actually. Okay. So that will be showing in a compensation profile, but not in a employee benefits profile. You can actually show that in total rewards, but you cannot show that as a benefit plan.
And for stock plan, for the SOP things, it will show in a compensation only, you said? Or
it will show in a compensation. Yeah. Stock plan, merit plan, bonus plan, alliance plan, everything will be showing in a compensation profile of an employee.
And yearly bonus, if it is there, if the companies do some kind of profit. So in that case, if the company gives some kind of amount of bonus amount, yearly bonus, so will it come under compensation only or in?
Yes, compensation. Bonus, we have plans actually. Bonus plan is there. So when you create a bonus plan or assign that bonus plan to an employee, that will be showing in a compensation profile of an employee. So anything related to worker, okay, right from contact information, personal information, benefit information, payroll information, compensation information, everything can be accessed from a worker profile actually. Okay.
But how do you capture these new employee details?
What is that? Come again?
But how do we capture all the new details for new employee?
Part of hire business process actually. When you're hiring an employee, I told you, right? Inbox item. Okay, let's say your compensation partner, I can say. Okay, so as part of hiring, you should be getting compensation related business process task to your inbox. And as a compensation partner or compensation administrator, you need to add a compensation for an employee. Once you add a compensation and you submit, that will go for next step actually. So as part of hire business process, when you are hiring an employee, so you should be getting each team will be getting different activities. If you're part of compensation team, you should be getting access. You should be getting a task to add a compensation for an employee. Okay, and if employee is eligible for one-time payment actually. Okay, so a one-time payment step will be triggered, and if that is allocated to compensation team, still again you'll be getting a kind of inbox item to add a one-time payment for an employee. Okay, that's how data will be available in Workday during hire process.
Okay. That includes even the basic details of the employee, their contact number,
Yes.
all the basic details.
Yes, everything will be as part of onboarding actually. Onboarding business process step will be triggered when you're hiring an employee. That will collect your personal information, your other demographic information and all. That will collect and will be available in Workday.
Okay, thank you.
Amit, I have one question.
Yes.
So sometimes bonus are depending on the projects, right? If whether they are going to complete that project or not with the timelines or something like that. So where bonus is something which is not reoccurring bonus or annual bonus, it is depending on the projects or performance. Are we going to add that in compensation? If yes, is there any, is there any provision in Workday where we can say that, okay, the timeline start from this, completing from this, and on this date we have to review it. And if it got completed, then we have to add it. Is it something like that, or we once it will completed, then only we can add that into the bonus?
Okay. So basically, whenever performance review completes, okay, whenever a bonus needs to be added for an employee, generally that will be done through bulk load process actually. Okay. If it is 1 or 2 employees, you can manually go and update bonus for an employee. But if it is for 100 employees or 200 employees, you want to update bonus during the compensation review process as per the performance. Okay. So manager will be sharing all this information to compensation team. Okay. And compensation team will be having all this data. They will review that and will share that information to Workday team. And Workday team will be uploading that information into Workday. So once the upload is completed, employee will be able to see the bonus amount added for them in compensation profile.
Okay.
So the same applies for other components also. So any kind of alliance that you wanted to add or update for an employee, okay. So you would be doing that through bulk upload. Okay, a lot of other components also related to compensation you'll be doing through bulk upload process, which we added for an employee compensation profile.
Got
it. Okay. Any other questions anyone have? Anything unclear? Okay. So now you're aware of the profile options actually. As I said, right? These tabs, okay. These tabs, whatever you're seeing, these are configurable actually, okay. So goals, competencies, development plan, feedback received, work projects. And you can add anything additionally as per your needs actually. So there is a task called configure profile options. Okay. There is a task called configure profile options, which will actually, let me refresh. It's getting slow. You can see pay for worker profile. So whatever I was showing you in pay, all these things you're seeing here. You can remove these things and you can add these things actually. Okay. If anything is, any data is available in these tabs, that will show. If anything is not available, let's say loan is there. Okay. If any employee has loan, okay, that will show up in the tab. If any employee does not have any loan, this entire tab will not show actually. If anything, any data is there in these profiles, that will show in a worker profile actually. Okay. So configure profile group is a task under which you can select any activity or any task related to worker profile. Either it can be benefits, either it can be compensation, either it can be payroll. Okay, that's how you typically configure profile groups for an employee. Okay. So that would be part of your certification. Okay, so you might get this question in your certification. Okay, so if you wanted to add any kind of additional tab in a worker profile, what are the configuration options that you should be choosing? So they will be giving the similar kind of activities to confuse you. But you need to remember configure profile group is a task that you need to use in order to configure any profile tabs in employee profile. Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Amit, as we have summary, job, compensation, pay, absence, all those in worker profile page, what is the task that we use to, if we do not want to see career or if we do not want to see performance, is there any task? Can we remove them from that profile? Can we do that?
Yeah, that's only I'm showing. No. Okay. If you wanted to remove anything here, okay.
I know. I wanted to remove job completely from this.
No, this one you cannot do. If you don't have, employee will definitely have a job. Okay. Without job, employee will not be there. Okay.
Career?
Career is part of learning actually. Okay. So if you don't want a career, if you have a learning module subscribed, automatically career will be showing. If you don't have a learning module subscribed, career will not show.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So anything that you cannot remove, you cannot do actually, because job anyways every employee should have, right? You cannot have any employee without job. Without job, employee will not be there in system also. So you cannot remove the job actually. But anything additionally, if you wanted to remove in worker profile, okay. Let's say in job you have these things actually. Okay. So you have a control to actually manage these things, but you don't have a control to handle these things actually. Okay. These things comes based on your module subscription. Okay. If you have a learning module subscribed, this will be showing up actually. Okay. All these things you can actually control, but this thing will be coming based on your subscription to the module. If you don't want to have performance to be populated here, you don't have a control to do this. If you have a performance enabled for your Workday subscription, this will definitely show. And whatever you wanted to actually control here, you can control these things, but you cannot control these options directly. That comes based on the module subscription. Okay.
Thanks, Amit.
Cool.
So to search an employee, you have to use the employee ID or the name.
Anything. Okay. Anything you can choose. Okay. If you're looking for if you look with employee ID, you should be getting if anything is matching with this employee ID. Okay. So whenever you're seeing slow, right, just refresh that one. That will get the performance back actually. That's the only performance issue I told you, right? You should be seeing some performance lagging in this tenant because this is not a live tenant. This is a demo tenant. Actually, you should be experiencing some kind of performance thing. So with employee ID also, you should be able to access worker profile actually. Okay. If anything is matching with that, you should be seeing. I don't think. Let's say what is Jacqueline's employee ID. Jacqueline's employee ID is 21007, right? If I actually access 21007, you should be getting Jacqueline's profile. Okay. So you can go with employee ID or employee name. Anything should work for you to access worker profile. Okay. That's how you can access employee or you can navigate into employee profile actually. Now, seeing the data. Okay. So you're understanding the data and then we'll be configuring the data actually. Okay. So now we can see in summary, you should be seeing all the job information. Okay. Employee job information. Okay. You can see something called supervisory organization. Okay. Which is saying that employees from this department. Okay. And you can see all the business title, job profile, job data, everything we should be seeing actually. Okay. And in job information also, you can see all the job details actually. So the position related job details and all, you should be seeing that. Okay. So organization, employee data, jobs, job history, everything you should be able to access in a employee worker profile with job activity. Okay. So loading the data, you should be finding these things. So in common, you should be finding supervisory organization in all the checks that you'll be making actually. Okay. So it's important for you to actually understand the definition of the supervisory organization and how is it associated to core HR. Okay. So there is a small description that I wanted to give, but before that, I'll ensure that we have covered everything here. Okay. So job data, employee details, and all you should be seeing in a job information actually. Job details, you should be finding all the job information of an employee. Okay. And similarly, employee person information, you should be able to find. Employee, all the HR data overview, you should be finding this things. Okay. So till here, if you all the HR information, you should be able to access. Okay. Now, coming to the concept called organizations. Okay. If you see employee profile, if you see Jacqueline's profile, if you see employee profile, in summary, we should be seeing, in summary, if you see supervisor organization, employee location, employee cost center, company. Okay. If you go to employee job, okay. In job, you can see employee job details, employee position ID, employee job profile, and employee supervisor organization you're seeing. Okay. And if you go to overview, okay. Overview is nothing but where you can add anything related to custom data. Okay. If you wanted to add any kind of custom data, you can actually go to overview, additional data you should have an access to, add a custom data, and you can add all these things that you're seeing here are custom data actually. Okay. These are not delivered by Workday. Everything as per customer. These are added. Okay. Now, checking the data actually. So, all the job information you're able to see. And the other important thing here you need to understand is, so you're seeing, whenever you're seeing job data, for example, you should be seeing data in hyperlink actually. And some data you should be seeing in a hidden thing actually. So whatever the information that you're seeing in hyperlink, and the reason why you're seeing that in the hyperlink is because you have access to that data. Okay. You have access to the data, and that's the reason why you're able to see everything in a hyperlink actually. Okay. So business title, you don't have access to business title. That's the reason why you're not seeing that in a hyperlink format. Okay. So meaning that, so you'll be seeing hyperlinks with the security access that you have actually. Okay, so if you have access to supervisor organization, you should be able to see the hyperlink where you can actually edit and update the supervisor organization. Or if you have access to the position, okay, you should be able to edit position or update position to change the title of the position and all. You should be able to adjust that one. Okay, like that. If you have any kind of access to that particular piece of data, you should be seeing that in a hyperlinks actually. Okay, hyperlink, the reason why you will be seeing hyperlink is because you have an access and you have a access to control the data. That's the reason why you're seeing things in hyperlink actually. Okay. And the other thing is few things that you're seeing in a unhided format, which are not hided actually. So which means that other than supervisor organization, other than other data where you're seeing hyperlink, for other data elements where you're not seeing hyperlink, meaning that you don't have an access to drill down into those data elements. That's the reason why you're seeing things in a hided format, which are not hyperlinks actually. Okay. That's how we typically access employee profile. Wherever you see something, something in hyperlink format, you need to understand that you have a control, you have an access to control that, or you have an access to drill into that and identify that information. Let's say, for example, okay, I have access to supervisor organization. Now I have since this is populated in hyperlink format, I should be able to action on this one. Okay. I should be able to action on this supervisor organization. Because since it is populating in hyperlink, your thinking should be, you should be able to action on that one. Okay. If we go to job details, so let's say supervisor organization is there. Okay. So I have access to supervisor organization. That is the reason why I'm able to edit the supervisor organization, change the name of the supervisor organization, okay, and do any kind of changes with the supervisor organization because I have access to that one. That is the reason why I'm able to access the supervisor organization. Okay, similarly, you can control the same for position, job profile, and employee type and other stuff. You should be able to control when you have access that shows in a hyperlink format. Okay. So any data that you see in hyperlink format, you can take that you have complete access to that one. You can control that one. Okay. That's on the access part. Based on the access, you should be seeing hyperlink actually. Okay. Do we have to reorganize to change anything in the supervisor organization? Okay. Yeah, you can do. If you wanted to change anything, we are not into any organization topic yet, but so there is some other information that you need to know before we jump to the organization. So as a high level, yes, you need to reorganize something in the supervisor organization, but we'll be discussing that. Okay, when we actually start organization concept, we'll be discussing that actually. Okay, so you should be able to get complete end-to-end understanding on the supervisor organization creation, enhancing, and updating the existing organization. Okay. Now, in traditional software system, okay, in traditional software system outside of Workday, you should be seeing employee will be having managers. Right, employee will be reporting to manager. Okay, and based on that, manager will be getting some kind of notifications for an employee when employee goes on leave, employee submits anything, or employee hires or employee terminates. You should be seeing manager will be getting this information shared actually. Okay, but in Workday, if an employee has to have a manager, okay, if employee has to have a manager, that manager should be having a supervisory organization. Okay, so I'll define in technical terms once you get a basic understanding. Okay, I'll talk in a Workday language once you get a fine understanding, but try to understand if any manager is available in the system. Okay, that person should be having a supervisory organization. Okay, if that person is not having any kind of supervisory organization, which means that that person does not have any kind of a report is actually, let's say I am a manager actually, I'm getting hired as a manager. The reason why I'm getting hired as a manager is because people are reporting to me actually. Once my hire is completed, people will start reporting to me. That is the reason why supervisor organization is created for me. So considering this, I can define supervisor organization as a supervisor organization is nothing but which groups employees and makes those employees to be part of the organization hierarchy. Okay, so typically whenever we create a supervisor organization, if manager is available or if manager is getting hired into the system, we actually attach that manager profile to the supervisor organization. Okay, so supervisor organization is nothing but which groups employees into organization hierarchy. Okay, so this will be little for people who are new to the domain will be little confusing, but I'll try to give a clear description of the supervisor organization, because this is the first footstep that you will be starting with functional language actually. Okay, so you need to know each functional configuration item in core HR actually. Okay, if you see Jacqueline, you can see Jacqueline is a manager actually, and she has around 400 reportees actually. Okay, this will not happen in real tenant, but since this is a training tenant, take this as a kind of concept. Okay, Jacqueline is a manager and she has 400 people reporting to her actually. Okay, 400 people reporting to her, and based on the notifications or any kind of configuration that you made here, that will be triggered to employee once manager is added to the employee profile actually. Okay, so anyone who is getting hired into Workday is with management role. Okay, that person will be part of the supervisor organization actually. Okay, supervisor organization is nothing but you create it for employees who are managers. For non-managers, you will not be creating a supervisor organization. Okay, so technically I can say supervisor organization is nothing but which groups employee into management hierarchy. Okay, so I wanted someone to walk through on the supervisor organization just to understand how far you understood about the supervisor organization, because supervisor organization is the first concept that we are going to discuss. So I wanted to understand whether you understood what is a supervisor organization.
Yeah, Amit, basically, if any manager is being assigned or manager is being joined in an organization, and if his profile has to be created on Workday, he should be having a supervisory organization assigned to him, number one. And supervisory organization is nothing but it's a concept where we can group employees into a certain organization hierarchy. That's nothing but supervisory organization. And
Yes.
if it's a normal employee, not a manager, it's just a normal employee joining the organization, there is no need to create or assign any supervisory organization with that person. This is specifically for people who have reportees under him.
Yes. Yeah. That's a perfect understanding. Only you create a supervisor organization when that employee is a manager. Okay. If employee is not a manager, you'll not be creating supervisor organization. Okay. You'll be getting a request from HR. Hey, this person is joining as a kind of senior manager, and he should have a supervisor organization because he has team of people reporting to this person. So please create a supervisor organization for this employee. HR will be placing a ticket actually. Okay, and based on the ticket, you'll be creating a supervisor organization that will allow you to add employees to the supervisor organization, and that person as a manager for the supervisor organization.
Amit, I have a question. So if the company's CEO is under the, supervisory organization, and under him or her, there have 6 or 7 managers are working. So will they be part of supervisory organization also, or they will not be part of?
So I understood that you're saying if employee hired as a manager.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
that person will have any reportees to that, or will create or do we create a supervisor organization for that? Is that your question is, or anything different?
No, that one only. Yes.
Okay, so basically, whenever employee hiring is completed in Workday, okay, an employee gets hired into the system as an employee. Okay, so as part of hiring process, you'll be giving a kind of management level options actually. Okay, if you see in Jacqueline's profile, you should be seeing can see here something called management level. Okay, so management level has a values like manager, senior manager, vice president, kind of things you should be seeing actually. Okay, so you'll be creating a supervisor organization only when an employee management level is manager and above. You'll not be creating a supervisor organization for an employee whose management level is below manager actually. Okay, so that is the first basic thing that you need to understand. And supervisor organization creation request will be from your HR actually. Your HR will be placing a request. Hey, this person is joining tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We should have a supervisor organization ready for this employee. Once this employee gets hired into the system, this employee will have a report is reporting to that person. Okay, you should be getting a kind of request from your HR, and based on that request, you will be creating a supervisor organization and have employee will be assigned as a manager to the supervisor organization. Okay, that's how you typically get a request for creating a supervisor organization.
And one more thing, Amit. Here, if the manager is reporting to someone else, so in that case, the manager can be part of two different organizations.
Generally, employee will not be part of multiple organizations actually. So meaning that employee should have when you say employee will be part of multiple organizations, which means that employee will have multiple managers also, which is not a case in Workday actually. Okay, so employee will be part of one supervisor organization and will be reporting to one manager. Okay, will not have multiple managers actually, but there is a concept called matrix actually, matrix organization. There is a concept called matrix organization, which has a control to manage direct employee and indirect employee. So that way, an employee can be part of two organizations. One can be a matrix organization, one can be supervisor organization. So only that way you can actually it is possible, but you cannot have one employee being part of multiple supervisor organizations. You will not have this option.
If you want to make a corrections, for example, in the employee details, you have to be on correction mode.
Yeah, so that's part of one of the transaction in the business process actually. So you need to have access to correct the business process. If you're hiring an employee or when you're first implementing the business process called hire actually. Okay, so your business will be giving you some permissions or some kind of instructions to the implementer. Okay, these people should have access to initiate hire. Okay, these people should have access to cancel the hire. These people should have access to correct the hire, kind of instructions your business will be giving. Even if your business does not give, implementation partner will have all these standards. They will share this information to business. This is how we have implemented to other customers, and this is a standard process. Access to correct the hire record is granted to HR partners, and access to cancel the HR hiring is granted to HR administrator. Kind of access related things your implementation partner or your business will be dealing that, where you'll be getting an option based on the transactions actually. Okay, you'll be getting correction access to the hire based on the permissions that will be associated for that particular transaction, so that you'll be getting a detailed information in a business process concept. Makes sense? Is that clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. So that's a kind of basic overview on the worker profile. So tomorrow, with this, I think you should have some kind of understanding on the organizations. So tomorrow we'll be starting sharing of deep knowledge on the organizations. Today we just try to understand the terms and the behavior of the supervisor organization. Tomorrow we'll be drilling down into the into more information, whatever we have, multiple organizations we have actually. Today we are just getting into supervisor organization. We have multiple organizations. Someone are asking employee can be part of multiple organizations. So matrix organization is one of the type that we have. So we have multiple organizations type which we need to discuss in detail. and get a kind of complete conceptual understanding of the organizations actually. Okay, so we'll be learning. I'll be coming up with a kind of hierarchy, because the hierarchy in this system is not proper actually. So I've created for previous batches, I can show that, but I don't want to actually show something in a picture format and give you a kind of assumption on that. I'll be coming with a kind of chart. Okay, and I'll explain how the hierarchy is defined in the chart, and we'll be creating organization based on the chart that I'll be showing in a Word document. Okay, so I'll be coming up with the chart, and till we complete our organization hierarchies, we'll be following the document actually. Okay, so that would be a kind of first session that we'll be talking tomorrow on the organization concept.
So,
Okay.
Amit, you will be informing us when we should take the tenant access?
Yeah, so probably tomorrow we'll be covering the basic information of organizations, and day after tomorrow also. Day after tomorrow, I'll start creating them. Okay, I'll start creating them, and then probably from day after tomorrow or from Monday, you can actually start requesting your tenant access, so that you'll have a kind of tenant access in right time. You can start practicing based on that.
Okay.
Amit, now that it's Cloud Foundation did share the course content, but can we get something like a day-wise topics that we're gonna learn? So if this is 35 days course, right? Can we get a breakup of what we're gonna learn every day?
No, that is different. That is difficult actually. So if we share something, a day-wise thing, okay, if something is getting extended for some reason, we'll be missing that schedule actually. Okay,
No problem.
so we'll be going in a sequence actually. Whatever Cloud Foundation has shared, we'll be going in that sequence. But day-wise schedule, is well, likely not possible to share if something getting extended, or if I'm explaining something in detail, probably 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes will be lagging that one. Okay,
No problem.
so probably next session might be extended actually, so that might happen, but we'll be going in the same flow. So we'll make sure that every subtopic, every topic is covered for you, and you're understanding it clearly. After you ensure that you got that topic clearly, we'll be moving to another concept.